Former LostProphets vocalist Ian Watkins was attacked and killed in prison. We'll get into the arrests that have been made and reactions from former bandmates and his exes, and see how fans feel about listening to the band's music now. All that more in today's episode of
The Jesea Lee Show. Oh, oh. The Jesea Lee Show. Oh, oh. The Jesea Lee Show. Oh, oh. The Jesea Lee Show. Jesea Lee Show.
Hey, it's me, Jesea Lee, aka Music News Daddy. Thank you so much for pressing play on the podcast, the only podcast with music news and fart jokes. I looked it up. There are no other ones in existence. If you're new around here, please bang your head on that follow button and that subscribe button. Leave a 5-star review. Do whatever you can to help the show. I appreciate it. The top story today, it could be a bummer depending on how you're looking at it. Former LostProphets vocalist Ian Watkins, he has been attacked and murdered in prison. He's done. He's gone. He's out of here. The disgraced singer was murdered at Wakefield Prison in the UK, where he was serving a 29-year sentence for sexual crimes against children and infants. I'm not going to get into everything he did here, the exact details, but let's just say I think you're going to have a hard time finding anyone that feels upset about Watkins taking the last train home. The inmates reportedly ambushed him in the morning, which you got to be a real piece of shit to get murdered before breakfast, right? But yeah, they jumped him and they were slicing and dicing his jugular, and sources say this was the most brutal and shocking attack they've ever seen, even in prison standards. The inmates have been arrested, and I'm assuming they're probably going to get extra dessert at dinner time. Again, you know me, I don't usually grave dance, but the things that he was convicted of were pretty heinous. And this wasn't the first time an attempt was made on Watkins' life. Back in 2023, he was taken hostage and stabbed, but prison guards were able to free him, and he left with not any kind of extreme bodily harm, just minor injuries, as minor as being stabbed can be, I guess. Speaking to the Daily Mail, Watkins' former girlfriend, Joanne Maya-Zelix, who was super instrumental in bringing Watkins in the first place, she told Daily Mail she was surprised it didn't happen sooner, and that she has always been scared of him getting out of jail and tracking her down, which again, a 29-year sentence for the things that he was convicted of, it seems pretty light. He was getting off light. So yeah, there was a possibility he was going to get out in this lifetime, and she was worried about that. Maya-Zelix had reported Watkins to the police as early as 2008. Her and a group of other people were going after him, trying to bring him down, so to speak, and police didn't take action until 2012. It wasn't until 2012 that police finally arrested Watkins, and they initially weren't even arresting him for this. They were going after him for some drug charges, and then they checked his laptop and found some very disturbing videos. Again, super shitty behavior. The mothers of these children were reportedly involved in facilitating this disgusting acts as well. So it's not a situation of wrongful conviction. Watkins did plead guilty to these heinous crimes. Several members of LostProphets did go on to start a new band with Thursday's Jeff Brickley called No Devotion. Highly suggest you go checking that band out. They're pretty great. And this includes guitarist Lee Gaze. And back in July, Gaze actually posted on X. He said, "It's been 13 years since my band ended in the most unimaginable circumstances, and it's still painful to think about. Things could have been so different." Now Gaze is thanking fans who have begun reaching out to him after this news has broken. A lot of fans are offering condolences, so in a way, just because they know that now this news is out there, Gaze and the rest of the bandmates are going to have to sort of relive these experiences, relive these pretty traumatic situations that happened to them. Again, this was their entire career that just went away in the blink of an eye because of these horrible actions by one band member. So Gaze thanked fans for reaching out and sending their condolences. And something I've seen going around socials now are people saying, "Oh, great, now we can finally listen to LostProphets guilt-free." And it made me wonder, a lot of people joked about that, but it made me wonder how many people do feel like they can listen to LostProphets now. So I asked the Legion over my Instagram at Jesea Lee. I asked, do you think it's okay to listen to LostProphets now? Or did you ever stop? According to this poll, 31% say yes, it's okay to listen to, you think it's okay to listen to LostProphets now? An overwhelming 61% still say no, absolutely not. And 8% of you said you never stops. So this whole story did not stop you from listening to LostProphets. And to begin with, you were able to separate the art from the artist. And listen, I am usually always on board with the idea of separating the art from the artist to a certain extent. But that one was one that I just, no matter how catchy those songs were, and let me tell you, side note, LostProphets, they wrote some incredible songs. All this horrible crime aside, the music itself was fantastic. I was a big fan of LostProphets. I loved those songs a lot. So I understand how hard it is not to listen to something you love, but I mean, I still couldn't do it. I could not separate it in my head because I heard his voice and like I would just, you couldn't hear that band and not automatically think of that awful thing that happened, you know? It was a lot easier before the music was available on Spotify and all the other streaming services as well. It was taken down for quite some time. And then about 2 years ago, it pops back up on Spotify and Apple Music. And I don't even know who is in charge of this, who's reaping the royalties for this. Because if you look it up on Spotify and Apple Music, it says the LostProphets discography was uploaded by a label called Viper Recordings. And I looked into this Viper Recordings. I can't really find any connection to them and the LostProphets. I mean, LostProphets were not signed to Viper Recordings back in the day, as far as I can tell. And it looks like Viper Recordings is mostly focused on electronic drum and bass music. So I don't know how they got access to the LostProphets catalog. I don't know if this is a situation where whoever owned it before just wanted to get off their hands, get their hands clean. So they just sold it off at a cheap price to Viper Recordings. And Viper Recordings is like, okay, I mean, we don't have any connection to this, but we'll stream it. We'll make some money off of it. I don't know if that's the situation. Maybe who's ever behind Viper Recordings didn't even go that far. Maybe they saw that the music wasn't uploaded on any streaming platform and they're like, fuck it. And they just they ripped it from YouTube and uploaded it themselves. And who's going to stop them? Because no one wants to get involved with this band anymore. No one wants to touch that revenue stream. I don't know. That's something we need to dive into. If anyone knows, if you're listening and watching, you know anything about this Viper Recordings label, let me know. Maybe we can dive into it on the next episode. And also, while you're down there hitting buttons, typing comments, make sure, please, again, bang your head on that follow button and that subscribe button, wherever you're listening to, wherever you're consuming this at. All right, that was some pretty heavy subject matter. I think we need a little palate cleanser, right? Let's watch a dumb video. I think that'll make us all feel better. This is coming from Dojo on TikTok, he's not dumb. He's hilarious. He makes these great viral videos of just making pizza to awesome songs. So let's watch this, really kind of clean our brains a little bit, like kind of start. These baked. You imagine your pizza's late and you check the pizza tracker, the Papa John's tracker, and you're like, man, it's like an hour and a half late. And then you're flipping through TikTok trying to kill time, and you see this dude. I wouldn't even be mad, though. I want to eat the Nickelback za. I want to taste the divorced dad rock in my hand toss supreme. All right, some other quick music news to get into. Drummer Eloy Casagrande says new Slipknot music is coming. And so are diehard fans after hearing that news, probably. In a recent interview with Drummers Review, Slipknot drummer Eloy Casagrande confirmed new materials on the way. He said, what I can tell you right now is that we are cooking. We are doing some new music for sure. Yes, we are. Since I joined the band, we have been working on some new ideas. We keep exchanging guitarists, drum beats, so we're always doing something. We had also some jam sessions, so we have a lot of material right now. We just have to sit down and put everything together, start jamming. It's happening. It already happened. It's going to happen in the future. Wait, what? What does that mean? Are we getting new Slipknot music or not? He says, so new material is coming for sure. Okay, I mean, that was a little convoluted way to say it at the end, but I'm going to trust Eloy here. He hasn't steered me wrong before. And hopefully we get some new Slipknot music soon. A Disturbed show in Belgium was canceled by the mayor over security risks. Disturbed was supposed to play in Brussels, Belgium on October 15th, but that show has now been scrapped due to concerns from the mayor and local police. A Belgian publication called De Standaard reported that the show would not happen because, quote, the show had become controversial because David Draymond, their singer, is a strong supporter of the Israeli military. David Draymond responded to the news saying, music is where all differences fade into the background. Music has the power to heal, to inspire, and bring people together. It's not about what divides us. We have always made it a point at our shows. All are welcome no matter what we believe. Everyone who comes to a Disturbed concert is accepted and loved. We are saddened that our fans in Belgium are not going to be able to share in the celebration of music. Your tickets will be refunded automatically within 30 days to the payment card used at the time of purchase. You do not need to take any further action. He says, we would like you We would like to thank you for understanding, and we appreciate your support. And one last quick little piece of news here. Shinedown, they made their Grand Old Opry debut this past Friday, and they also debuted a brand new song called Searchlight. Country superstar and also huge rock and metal fan Carrie Underwood, she was there. She actually introduced the band. Let's check out a little snippet of the track, because I don't think we're gonna get copyright on this since the song hasn't been released yet. I think we can get away with playing a few seconds of it. So let's check it out. The song's got some twang to it, huh? Kind of reminds me of that song, A Symptom of Being Human, they put out. More of the adult contemporary version of Shinedown. So we'll see if that's the direction they keep going in for this new record, or if this is just a one-off. Also, that's a live performance, so who knows if it's going to sound that way in the final release. But speaking of finals, that's it for me today. Had a great time hanging out here talking music news and dumb shit with you. Again, please find me at Jesea Lee on TikTok and Instagram, at Jesea Lee Show on X. You can also find me on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, all that, of course. That's where you're listening to this right now. Make sure to bang your head on that follow button, that subscribe button. Leave a 5-star rating. Give me that high five. And above all else, be sure to share this episode with somebody that doesn't suck. All right? Take it easy now, and bye-bye.
The Jesea Lee Show.